Hello, everyone. Welcome to Heartlines. This is our space where we discuss everything relationship and love, and I'm your host, Franca. Tonight on the show, I have Tomi Akimbobola and Sajo. I don't think we have Sajo yet. Because I don't know how to pronounce your name.
No,
Can you please educate me? Can you please teach me? Sorry?
Me, I don't have your time today.
Sorry?
I don't get your power today, man.
So what's your name?
Tommy.
Tomi.
Yeah.
Okay. Your surname?
Akimobola.
Bola. Oh, I just got it right. You know I didn't know your name initially.
Oh, you know what
Yeah, I didn't know your name.
I beg, leave me alone.
So me, I have your power.
I beg, just leave me. I don't get your strength, I beg.
How are you?
No,
Why?
I just give up.
Good.
Is your phone ringing?
No,
Okay.
you shouldn't ring. We're on the show.
Yeah, I know.
Comfortable. Tomi.
Remind me the conversation for today now.
Okay.
What's the conversation today? The conversation is at what point you think one should be ready to get married, right?
When is the time? When do you know you're ready for marriage?
So, from my point of view, okay, it might be relative, but there are some certain things that should be in place, right? Before, venturing into marriage. One of the most important things that is very essential is emotional intelligence, right? One is being able to
Don't you think you're speaking from an advanced?
be able to come down to...
Yeah, because I don't think people know that you need emotional
No,
intelligence
actually,
to be
to
married.
go into marriage, you need to be emotionally intelligent.
But
Because
you found out after getting into marriage. Because you didn't know that was that
actually,
difficult.
yes, I found out growing in marriage.
Exactly. So
But-
so what we're saying is surface level.
Okay, surface level.
What everybody thinks, oh, this is what.
Okay, so for surface level, one thing that is paramount and very important, in fact, it's very essential, is finance.
Okay.
Right.
That's what everybody thinks that is necessary for marriage.
I think it's necessary, really, because you can't go into marriage without having at least some sort of balance in your finance capacity, right? You can't tell me you want to go into marriage without having something to start the family, right? Most especially, of course, people going to marriage, not everybody has rented an apartment. You want to go and live in your father's house. Not everybody has necessary tools that you use to, navigate during that first period of marriage. So finance is very important because you need to feed your wife. Of course, in quote, as the man of the house, right? But of course, having a partner is ready to support you, also makes it wonderful, right? So for me, top of mind, finance should be one of the most important things available, right? And then you should not go advanced.
No, so what I was trying to say is, it's not like you're going to go there.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, before you go married, what did you think?
So for me...
So before everybody, so let me rephrase that. So everybody naturally just feels, oh, at a certain age you need to be married.
So for me, I'm indifferent.
I'm saying
generally
they just feel.
I don't want to say for me.
Yeah.
I don't think age should be.
So people just feel that at a certain age you should already be married. Now, so we're saying, if you haven't gone into marriage, when do you think you are ready for marriage? As a young guy who's just coming up, who has a girlfriend, who sees everything that's going around and all that. At what point do you think you're ready for marriage? Surface level.
Surface level.
Do you understand what I'm trying to? No, do you understand what I'm trying to? Everybody just feels that once I get money, I'm ready to marry.
That's surface level. Because you ask for surface level. It's finance.
No, you don't understand. It's
and you have the right woman you think you want to be with.
So that means you're saying that naturally people just, once they have money, they feel they can take care of a girl.
Yeah.
And then they're of the right age, they'll just get into marriage.
That's the surface level.
Good. So, but you know why I'm saying we should separate it?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't know what it entails.
Yeah, it entails a lot. If one now let's go advance.
Yes, that's adult, because it is when you get into marriage.
You now discover
that it is not money, it is not age, it's not even having the girl that you love.
One of the things that is most paramount and important and very, very essential is one of the things you laid emphasis on and you were able to explain on Tuesday, which is commitment. commitment goes a long way in marriage. Because after all is said and done, when the ships are down, it's that commitment that keeps that marriage going.
So, Anthony, I will say it again.
Yeah.
Commitment shouldn't be tied to marriage.
Did you hear what I said? It's that commitment that keeps that marriage going. The value you have for that person, right? I know what I said. Commitment keeps that marriage going. The person, the value you add on that person is that commitment.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to say, let's not tie commitment to me. You know, you were the one that asked me that question. You said, then if there's no marriage, then where's the commitment? That was what the question you asked me on Tuesday. Because you tie commitment to marriage. You feel that, okay, that's what I'm saying. So even when you are dating, what you have
clearly stated.
So what I'm saying is, even while dating,
you can be committed while dating.
Exactly.
Of course. That's what I'm saying too. In marriage too, that commitment is what helps you to sail. If there's no commitment, they can be married, but oh well, it doesn't mean it's going to be a happy marriage. But that commitment is what gives.
So basically, you're saying that while dating, once you know that you're committed, that means you're ready for marriage.
Thank you. That's the point I was trying to make. No. I mean,
let me not say it.
No, that's from me, man. That was not you. That's me, man.
Let me not say
Don't claim what I said, please.
Hello, Sergio. How now?
Good evening.
My darling. Sergio, answer me now. Tell me, what is your own? Once I call another person my daddy, you start to swell up. What's the problem?
I just looking for. I don't say I didn't want to react to Danny, where you call her. Sergio.
Is that the title that Toby wants to take?
Sheko Wale, Sergio, Sheko Wale. I don't know.
What does that mean, Toby?
Make I put the hand down the hill. Make I put my hand down.
Oh, please do. I hear.
Good evening, sir.
Sergio, how are you?
How are you? Good evening.
Yeah, not bad.
Good.
Pushing it. This woman here is just stressing me.
How are you guys? Sorry, I'm joining late.
For you, I would do
was
anything.
busy doing other things. What?
For you, anything goes.
How?
I go soon walk out of this stage now.
I said, walk out. Which stage you there?
Where are they? This TV show.
Told me if he die. Told me tell me you're just a jealous person. Kai! Sergio, now, how was your day? Did you go to court today?
Yeah, we do court every day. It was good.
Yeah.
Stressful, but hey, it was a rainy day. And we had to deal with the traffic navigation around Lagos when it rains. And having to come late to events because of the traffic and because of the rains, yeah.
Well, okay, so Tommy, you were saying, so you just feel that, so basically for you, once you are committed, once you can identify that you are ready for commitment, that means you're ready for marriage.
Part of it, not everything. It's not the icing on the cake. Well, I think commitment should be the icing on the cake, right? But
yeah, because once you're committed, you go around the finance,
exactly.
You walk around your finance, you walk
committed.
Around, yes, because you're committed. Okay, makes sense. Sergio, please, when do we know we are ready for marriage?
For men, when you are a man.
And what makes you a man, please?
Because marriage is between a man and a woman, not boys and girls.
Sorry, Sergio, we can't hear you properly.
Would that be my microphone or what? Can you hear me now?
Yes, but it feels like you're far from your mic.
I'm not actually.
Okay, better.
That's better now.
It's better now.
Yes, I was saying that marriage is between a man and a woman.
Okay.
Though, of course, we now have various descriptions now that extends to other combinations. But as to when you will know you're ready for marriage is when you have become fully a man for men and when you have become a woman. Okay. That would mean when you're willing to, when you understand what a vow is and you're willing to commit to those vows, when you're willing to commit to a partner and let go other distractions, and when you're willing to build together, it's an easier description to say one is a man. But if you go into marriage as a boy, the marriage will either make you grow up to becoming a man, or if you insist on being a boy, fling you through the window. That's why you see but that's why you see dissolution, not premature, because there's nothing mature or premature about divorce. That's why you see people go into marriage and within a year or two, they are saying that they are no longer compatible and they want to dissolve the marriage. So for me, it is when you strongly know, not even the feeling, when you know that you have become a man, being willing and able to take the pressures of life, commit to someone, be responsible to someone, and be dedicated to the vows that you have taken. Because those vows are very serious vows that needs to be seriously taken. And it only takes a proper man or a woman to understand the implications of those vows.
Okay. I know that as much as I want to say that, we've heard people say men go into marriage, as a contract, they're very logical, blah, 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 blah. We've heard so many things. But I also want to believe that there's nobody who goes into marriage with the sole aim of not making it work or not caring. You spend all that money on a wedding, you're committed to someone, and then you don't care if it works or not.
You'll be shocked. Some people have agendas for marriage, don't you know?
So sure.
We have instances where, okay, maybe this guy thinks, in fact, true stories. He thinks, okay, maybe he gets married to this person. He knows this girl is from a very wealthy family. He thinks he's going to have the opportunity of, laying his hand on some certain sum of money, right? And at the end of the day, when he gets married, he finds out that, what he had thought he would get, he couldn't get it. He starts to react to the girl, starts to misbehave, probably starts to beat her too.
You don't get me. Yeah. He went into the marriage for a reason, not to get divorced. He wanted to get money, but his intention was to stay.
Well, he could have gotten the money and left. We
don't
know.
But if he was going to get the money and leave, he can as well leave without the money.
That's why I got the money in the first place, the money.
You don't get my point. But now he didn't get the money, so he can as well also leave.
True.
So, do you get my point? Any which way, he doesn't have to be there. But he's there now beating the girl out of anger. He can leave and go try someone else.
No, the girl left him already.
So, do you get my point? So, again, it still goes back to, I don't think, as much as you go in because you think, it's an opportunity for you. And let me tell you, Tommy, I personally think that for every marriage, both parties are selfish. Whether you like it or not. This is me. And why I say that is why I use that word selfish, because I will not get married to you if you do not have some attributes that I want.
That's why they say, you guys values need to align.
That's why I said selfish. In the sense that it is what I want.
I think it's just a principle. Come on.
You will be, because there are other people, but it is what I want. And I have seen it in you. Same way the guy wants something. So at the end of the day, it's about what you want as a person.
That's not being selfish.
But it's about
you. It's what you want.
Exactly.
So and the other person too is what he wants.
But guess what? If it's not, so I use the word selfish.
If you didn't want it won't come for you.
It is. You don't get. I said both parties go into it. Both parties. I'm not saying one person is selfish.
Okay.
Do you understand? And why I say that is, the guy who you say went in there for a reason, that was him being selfish.
And that one is selfish.
Told me that his own reason for going there was because the girl had money.
Yeah.
Other people go in because they feel the woman will not give them stress. That's not selfishness.
That's selfishness. Why is it selfishness?
Then what is wrong with the guy going there for money?
Madam Franca, I think the choice of the word selfishness, I'm not sure you intend to use it in general meaning.
No, not general. So I don't mean selfish. Yes. So what I mean is everybody goes there with their personal... For self.
That's what marriage should be all about. They're going there for self.
Well, so why are you criticizing the guy?
No, that one is different now.
Why is it different?
When your self-interest becomes detrimental to the other party, it becomes selfish.
It becomes selfish, exactly. Now, in this case, yes, that's selfish.
You can actually have interest which you bring in, and you hope that the other person will complement your interest. But when you become excessively interested and overtly concerned about yourself and yourself alone at the detriment of your partner, that is where selfishness comes in.
Exactly.
Yeah, but even at that.
Well said.
Listen.
No, well said. Acknowledge that first.
No, but no, but we're not arguing.
We're
not arguing all that. So, but what we're trying to say, everybody goes into, even you told me you went into marriage for a reason.
And that's because I loved my wife.
I don't know what your reason is.
I'm telling you the reason.
Good. That guy, that he saw the girl and they have money, doesn't mean he doesn't like the girl. Yes, you can't take it out. You can't rule that out.
Well, we don't know.
Different things they make. It's just like a guy liking a girl because the girl is pretty.
Okay.
I can like you because you're rich. Does it mean I don't like you? No.
Okay.
So, do you understand?
Okay, I get your point.
So my point is, everybody goes into marriage for a reason, and goes back to saying
wealth, riches are not personal attributes.
Sorry?
Wealth, riches are not personal or descriptive attributes of a human being.
Yeah, but Tommy said no. So Tommy is saying that's why somebody got into marriage.
Your personality, you can't say you love someone because he's rich or she's rich. You love persons. You love their personality. You love their characteristics. You love their innate.
Sajo, so the truth is that you don't love people because of those things doesn't mean it's not right for somebody to say, I love the person because the person is rich.
No, it is not even love. You're not loving the person, you're loving the money.
But it's the money, exactly.
Sajo, the money and the person
Sajo, you don't get it.
Entities.
Whether you are loving the person or but you can use the word love because that's what you love about the person.
It's the money you love.
No.
But if the person doesn't have money tomorrow, they are no longer in love with that person.
Let me tell you why I say that. I say that because everybody has a right.
Okay.
Do you understand? For whatever reason to do what they want to do. If I say I like you, do you understand? Because you're not stingy. That's my choice.
It doesn't make you selfish.
See, whether it's about me, however you want to describe it, it's about me at this point in time. The person who says, I'm not going to go out with a guy who is not financially stable, it is my choice.
Whose father was not financially stable?
Sorry?
The person's father, the person that is looking for a man who is financially stable, his father is not financially stable.
Sajo, you don't, well, see, it is not, we're not trying to judge.
Looking for someone.
Yes, but that is their business. People go into things for different reasons. Do you understand? For example, somebody has said, oh, I will not get married to somebody who is not doing anything. And guess what? Maybe the girl is from a humble home and she's not able to secure a job. And then there's this other girl, she's from an okay home, the father has connections, and she's able to secure a job. Whether you like it or not, the wealth comes in. Opportunities, it comes in, whether you like it or not. So let's not even begin to go into that route because everybody gets what they get and what they don't
That's
get.
a very narrow, that's a very
Sajo, let's not judge people for what they choose to do. Do you understand? Because I feel that everybody at some level, as you get exposed, you decide on what you want.
So we're not judging, right?
What
we're trying to put out there is, when is it right to get
married?
What makes it right? What was that question again? What does it take to get married?
So whatever the person feels, we're trying to say it's okay to think this, but it is not the right thing. That's what we're saying. So we're not telling you anyhow you want to feel because we're not going to be married with you. We don't know what tickles your fancy. We don't know what makes you happy. And I don't know your mindset. I don't know where you're coming from. Sometimes poverty. Because a lot of people, for some people, wealth is not money. It's good health. For some other people, it's materialistic things. So it is not in my place to change that. That's you. If along the line as you grow, you now decide to change that narrative, oh well and good. Do you understand? Some people feel a marriage will never work without money or excess money. Do you get my point? So it is their state of mind. It is what they want. And you can't change that. Let's not try and change that. Let's not say.
No, but again, if you think a marriage will not work without excess money, are you invalid? Are you incapable of making excess money?
Whether the person is invalid. Okay, so Sajo, can I ask a question? So is there anything wrong with a guy who says he's not going to get married with a girl who doesn't have a job?
There is nothing wrong with that. And the reason I'm saying that is that it is not you having a job, it's not for the selfish benefit of the man, but for your own growth and development.
Sajo, so but guess what? It is not about selfish benefit of the man.
And become
no, Sajo, you see, let me say something. We're thinking for people. We shouldn't think for people. Whether if the man, we don't know the reason why the man has said, you are the one who is saying it because of the girl's growth. That's why the man is saying that. It is possible the guy doesn't want to take up that burden. Yes.
What burden?
The guy doesn't want to take up the burden of being responsible for the girl. It's very possible. Which is why he said, I will not get married.
The question of being responsible for the girl, is she invalid?
You don't get my point. Sajo, there are people who have said they will never get married.
How will someone else be responsible for you? Are you
Sajo,
not
it is not about... Sajo, you're not listening. It is not about the girl. It is about the guy.
Tommy wants to die.
Do you understand? It is about the guy. The guy is saying, I will not get married to someone who doesn't have a job because I do not want to take responsibility for that girl. It is not the girl who is saying that. Now, is it wrong for the guy to take that decision?
Franca, you are being very unfair.
How?
On the one hand, you say we should not think for others.
No, I'm saying it. I'm asking a question here.
On the second hand,
I'm not
you just thought that the reason the man does not want to marry someone who doesn't have a job is so that he does not take responsibility for the lady.
That I'm giving you an instance of something somebody has told me. I'm telling you categorically. So I'm not thinking for the guy.
Okay. If the person said that to you, personally, I do not think it is wrong because I do not believe if I had a daughter, I would tell her that from the point where you become independent and you have the capacity to earn, you are no longer the financial burden of any human being, not me, your father, and not any man that you end up marrying.
Good.
So do not think that you go into a marriage believing that one man automatically takes over your being, your essence, your all of your burdens, financial burdens. No. If you want to look good, if you want to feel good, if you want to drive expensive cars, work and get those things. You have the capacity to earn as much as any man you will marry.
Okay. Continue.
He has already made the point already.
What point did he make?
I mean, you can't be there and say you want to wait for...
That means you're not listening. You're just trying to make a point. The question I asked, is it wrong? Listen,
point am I trying to
he said it is not wrong for the guy to say, I'm not going to marry somebody.
Yes, it's not wrong.
Exactly. And so now, I'm going back to, is it also wrong? Is it also wrong for a guy to say...
A girl, you mean?
Okay. The same guy. Is it wrong for a guy to say, I want to marry, just the same way the guy doesn't feel I should marry a girl who doesn't have it's okay for me to marry a girl who doesn't have a job. Now I want to marry a girl who has a good car, who has a job, and can take care of herself. What's wrong in that?
What's wrong with that?
Thank you. It is your choice. Exactly. We are going back to the same thing. It is your choice.
No. It's not your choice. Your choice now, the narrative here, Franca, the narrative here is simple.
Okay. Sajo, you cannot Sajo, listen. You cannot tell me people decide, Sajo, when you were getting married, you sat down, Sajo. You chose the kind of woman you want to marry. You sat down. Your wife was not there. It was something you took. It was a decision you took on your own. And that was what you worked with. Because of your person, because of your values and whatever it is, something made you take those decisions, right? And it worked for you. If Tommy wants to get married,
it's working very well for me.
Good. And nobody they follow you drag him. If Tommy now wants to get married,
when Tommy
wanted to get married, he said he like girl when he fine, he like girl when he go school, he won't get when he sabi work. That is Tommy's choice. Do you get my point? Nobody is going to argue that with you. Then another man comes to say that I want a girl who the father is rich. Do you understand? Because I know where I'm coming from. And I don't want all those plenty wahala. I'm not saying the father should give him money. We have not said why the reason why he wants a girl from a good home. Because you'll be shocked that he has had experiences. And maybe girls from homes that are maybe hungry homes, they begin to ask for... We don't know what the reason is. Let's not narrow it down to anything. Okay. It's not because the guy is saying, I cannot walk. No. Do you get my point? The guy is saying, I want to marry a girl who is from a very good home. Maybe he's ready to work, but he wants somebody that has the connections, so that when he needs to go somewhere, he will go and ask uncle or brother, father-in-law, I need to do this. Do you know any... People have different reasons for doing whatever they want to do. So let's leave it at that. Do you understand? Respect people's decisions and opinions about what they want. Now, it goes back to what I was saying.
Will you respect the opinion of a thief, an armed robber, because it's his opinion?
Sajo, we are not in my see. If the opinion of the thief is making sense to me, at that point, it is my decision that it. Do you understand? My values. It is my values.
Okay,
Sajo.
so you have not qualified the opinions we should respect.
Sajo, I'm not. See, I am not saying you should do what I want to do. It's okay to do what you want to do. Let people do what they want to do. That's all. You cannot impose anything on anybody. Yes. You shouldn't impose things on anybody.
So what does it take to get married?
All right.
Yeah. So it is your decision. But we're saying people get married for different reasons. But what are the right reasons to get married for? We have said commitment. Sajo has said commitment and responsibility. Do you understand? But do people actually have those things? Because a lot of people are after materialistic things. People get into marriage
that is why a lot of marriages will crash, because of the drive, the purpose for which they went in.
And then also
when the materialistic thing fails to materialize in the marriage, there will not be nothing to hold it. Then it will crash.
So Sajo, sometimes it's not even material. Sometimes it's the girl's values, culture, behavior, different things. So it depends on what you can take. And Sajo, the truth is, Tommy, the you that got married a few years ago, you have evolved.
Of course I have.
The things that you wanted have completely changed.
True.
You have mingled with certain kind of people. In fact, there are people that get married to poor people. And then when they see how life is, by the time the marriage show you, they start to wish they got married to people who were financially okay. It happens. Do you understand? And guess what? As much as we want to blame these individuals, the society is also part of the problem. The society is part of the problem. Okay, now you want to get married. See, for example, Yabo's just daughter's wedding. We were discussing it before. They've had like 7 weddings.
7?
Yes. 7 events. Do you understand? And somebody who is not married is sitting down somewhere to say, not be girl be that. I'm just telling you how the mind works. Sajo's mind is formed. He don't mature an old man. But how many people think like him? How many people have those values?
Even when I was young, I would not say no be girl be that. Because I see person they do 7 weddings.
Told me. When you say so, you might not.
No, because you said he's very mature.
No,
even when me, my own never mature.
You are trying to claim maturity.
So what am I?
I didn't say anything. But what I'm trying to say, even if you don't say it like it's what you want,
yeah,
you will say it in passing. Something that people will talk about. Do you understand? The guy and guess what? The guy is equally doing well. Do you understand? The guy is doing well, but the girl herself, she's doing well, but you see that most of the things is her mom. So is it not back to her mom? And then somebody goes, so people read meanings from... See, Tommy, you and I can be watching something now. What you are getting from that thing is different from what I'm getting. When I watch the weddings, I see Yabojo's struggles and how she has done so well for herself. Do you understand? How she has evolved as a single mom, what she has put into training her children. Somebody else is watching that same thing and say, oh, more. Now this way, oh, do you understand? I get to do anything. They're not seeing the values behind it. It's the whole party and everything they're saying. So that you and I watch something, we don't get the same information we should get from it. They are saying 7 parties. Just the way you were asking me now that, why did they do this last party? If I was not thinking the way I was thinking and you didn't say the reasons why I was thinking, it'd be like, I bet those were just one show us. But we just agreed that, oh, because what they did was in Nigeria, we agreed immediately that, oh, he wanted to do something in Tanzania. We didn't see it as show off.
Upon realization of...
Do you understand?
From that side, yeah.
From that angle. But guess what? Somebody else will say, told me, they just want to show, say they get money. And you'll be shocked that they're not spending their money.
Actually.
So really, what should be the values? Because the society is changing the whole narrative. It's the society, it's the culture, social media, everything is changing everything. But really, what do you need to get married? The essentials of marriage. What are the essential things we need to get married? Even the parties, are they part of it? Do you really need parties for marriage?
It's choice, though. That one is choice.
So is it essential? Because
I don't want to say it's essential. It's choice. It's relative. Right? Some people come from a family where they like to.
You don't get what I mean. When we say essential, there are things that you cannot do without. So when you say that is a choice, I think that means you can do without it. So it's not essential.
It's not essential, but it's choice.
It's not essential.
Franca.
Yeah?
Personally, if I knew then what I know now, I would have gotten married on a Wednesday by 2 p.m. where everybody is seriously working in their offices. And quietly marry my wife. The money I would have used for those reception, I'd travel to some wonderful... I spend 7 days with her and come back to Nigeria quietly and live happily thereafter. You see, what I say to young intending couples is the marriage comes after the wedding. But unfortunately, most of us, as it is with most Nigerians, we spend our energies in preparing for the wedding without making plans for the marriage.
True. Very true.
The same way our politicians plan so vigorously for elections without making plans for governing the people for 4 years. That is why you see them 2 years before the next election, they're already planning for the next election, then abandoning governance. You see, whether we like it or not, whether there's trend or not, we have sat back and we have noticed the unfortunate curve that marriages are not taking in our society. In one of our sessions, I said to us that over 60% or 70% of marriages that we know today will be dissolved in about 10 years' time, irrespective of how lavish it was at the wedding. If you miss the core, now there could be other attachment to the core. If you miss the core purpose and the core values, you will never get it right. But if the foundation is proper and strong, every other flowering that's attached to it will blossom. Once the ideas of these persons align, that this is what we want, this is who we want to become, and this is the amount of children we want to raise, this is how we tend to raise them, this is how we manage our finances. They can spend billions for the wedding. I do not really care. Once they align, that marriage will succeed and it will be wonderful thereafter. But even if they spend 2 naira and they had a reception at a mama put, if their values are not solid and their goals do not align, the marriage will not succeed. So now back to what the core ingredients are. You must have that foundation. You must have that level of compatibility. We know what we want. As persons, we know what drives us. We know where we are. a bit deficient or lack. The essence is to get someone that can complement that aspect of us and grow together, and our willingness to kill self. So that's why I was particular about selfish when we were using it, because I knew that you did not mean it in the general terms. For a marriage to succeed, self must die almost completely, and then we must create us. When we begin to engage in discussions of us, it becomes almost impossible to break us. Because when we are broken from us, the scar that will detach from each other will almost be impossible to heal through time. But when we're in a marriage and we're still very individualistic, it's easier to walk away, because what am I losing? I still have all my being, myself. I still have my clique, my friends. I still have my support system. So we move on. You see, it is the Bible, one of the respected holy books, that said, the seed must die for it to germinate and bear fruit. That is the essence of marriage. You must go back and begin to nurture afresh. You must compromise. You must look at those things that will not augur well for the ultimate goal or the ideal or the underpinning philosophy that will guide the marriage. You must leave your excesses. You must forgo some friends and some friendship. And you must invest in this new ideal or project, loosely put. But that's the only way it can grow. So I do not subscribe to lavish wedding or booker wedding, or do whatever you must do. It's your money. Spend it how you want to spend it. But before you go into those spendings, remind yourself that after the wedding, the marriage would begin. And nobody will judge you for more than 1 year of this lavish or mama put wedding. What they will judge after 1 year is how your marriage is faring.
I agree. I totally agree with what Sergio has said, which is why I have a problem with so many things going on right now, because people are planning their weddings and what they're bothered about is the finance, which was what you mentioned, surface level. But before we dive deeper into this, let's quickly go on a break. I think we're long overdue for a break.
Stay tuned. Heartlines will be right back.
This season on Heartlines, we're committed to making a difference in people's lives. So Heartlines, in partnership with Reda Consult, is offering 12 free slots of counseling every quarter for people in need of professional counseling. Additionally, we're taking on 2 pro bono cases for individuals navigating a challenging divorce. To participate, please send an email to counsel@vedaconsult.com with your story. Our team will carefully review all submissions and will contact all the shortlisted candidates. Heartlines is live Mondays to Fridays at 10 p.m, so engage with us.
Thanks for staying with us on Heartlines.
Okay, so please note that you can share your story with us via our WhatsApp number 08190384663 or call in to join in the conversation on 07025007749 or 07014242420. And please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV. Okay, so before we went on the break, Sergio gave a very detailed explanation of what people should do for marriage. But I don't think we have all that. And everything he has said, in all honesty, when he even started, he said if he knew what he knows now. And trust me, a lot of people, okay, let me not say so, a lot of people, but a few people know, but a lot of people do not share the same idea because they just want to show off, it's my wedding. And I noticed that when you're planning a wedding, at that point in time, it is about what people would say, not you people. You know, you want to have a statement wedding because people say, oh, that's I won't get married twice. So they want to go the all way out, do you understand? To make it grand, take care of this, take care of that and all that. But I honestly believe that they do not take care of the fundamentals. And like I said, it is because we have been there. We know what the fundamentals are now. You understand? Because if after we got married and it was all sweet and we won't be saying all those things. So, Sergio, what are the things that needs to be done differently to help with the mind shift?
If I would advise...
Okay.
If I advise the ladies, please do not spend hundreds of millions on wedding gown that you will never wear again. I was no. I was watching my wife's wedding gown for over 10 years until she gifted it to someone. And I was asking myself why we had to spend that much of money.
Sergio, I think you're being biased here because I don't want to make it up. Sergio, you chose to get a suit. Your suit, maybe because you could wear it again. A lot of people buy suits that they can never. Some people buy those very long tuxedos that you can never use again. So it is a choice thing. Some people buy shoes with studs that they will never wear again. Do you understand? So I think it's a choice thing. It's not just the ladies.
Oh, my shoe, I still wear them 4 years later, man. I still rock out.
And because
I think the shoes will still there.
Because of the choice of shoe you chose, you understand? Because you're not, there are people who like shine.
I hate it.
Now,
okay, so I have a
that was on the lighter note. Mm-hmm. Well, that's a joke. Now, for me, I think most persons need to realize that it is their wedding. It is your wedding, not your parents' opportunity to relive their life or to show their friends or how successful their daughter or son have become. So it's your wedding, choose your venue, choose your thing, do your thing. And it is a much crowd that you gather that, I mean, if Jesus could manage a Judas from 12, think of how many Judas you can get from a crowd of 2,000. Reduce your crowd. You really do not need it. It's not adding any value to the marriage. It's not going to add any value to your goals. But if you must, do your thing. But whatever you're doing, ensure that you are putting more energy in the marriage than in the wedding planning and in the wedding itself. Yeah. Then the trend, I watched a video today shared in one of our platforms where the EFCC chairman was narrating the impact of Yahoo on our society. And he said that they were able to trace 2 billion naira, was it 5 billion or so, to a 22 years old boy account.
5 billion.
And that we look at this Yahoo from the perspective that, these boys are defrauding, white, blah, 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 all of that, those narratives that. But what was important for me from that message is that we are now at a point where the level of moral decadence is becoming epidemic. It's becoming a pandemic to the point that he was saying that there are secondary school children who now own cars and they bring those cars to school. Look at the recent, where they said we had glitches or we had a glitch with Jambet, the performance was abysmally poor, even with the glitch. You know, it only shows that we are now moving away from the core societal value that we are all used to the social media trend. And this would also impact, or is now impacting, on how we think weddings should be. Seven weddings, 7 celebrations. You are not Igbenedion that used to do how many birthdays in how many countries. You have not even started the journey into marriage. And even if they do that, it's their money, they have the money. There's no reason why you should be pressured. It's your life, it's their life. Let them do what works for them, and you do what works for you. You're not in competition with anybody.
Exactly.
What is most important is that you improve on yourself daily. The only human being you need to compete with is you. So do not allow the pressure of life, of what you see on social media, impacts or affects you. You will know you're ready when you see the right person, when you're compatible, when you see someone you are willing to make sacrifices for. Get married, start building. If you both agree, there's nothing you cannot achieve.
Sergio, I hear you loud and clear, but in all honesty, I think that's really difficult because, like we mentioned, a lot of values are lost. I saw a video on Eric Ogugwa's page where I think these children were just maybe 16, 17, and the girl, it was her birthday, and the boyfriend, who I think is about 17 or 18, wanted to surprise her. They actually went to rent a hotel, book a hotel. They put the roses and everything on the bed and everything.
The girl was not up to 15 now.
The girl was not up to 15.
Rishi.
And you see their friends. You see, they were really very, I don't want to use the word low-key.
You know, that's what I said in my mind now. I just didn't say it.
Do you understand? I didn't want to use that word. You could see the kind of people, everybody was just, and they all had girlfriends.
Less than 15 people.
Do you understand? Sergio, these children were I'm sure that girl was 14 or 15, and the guy is 17.
I don't think he's 15.
And I'm saying this because of the Yahoo thing you spoke about. Do you understand? So imagine a 15-year-old girl already getting maybe an iPhone 16 from a guy as a birthday gift.
Who is not up to 20 yet.
Who is not up to 20, who is not working, And where did they get these things from? Social media. Because they actually took a video of that whole thing and posted it on social media. So this is what informs a lot of people's actions, you understand? And
that is what they classify as love. So tomorrow she will expect a man to buy her a house to express love.
But Sergio, that's what we're talking. There was a time we had the show and I said, do people really have sex for Lamborghinis?
Yes.
No, I was asking Sergio, and Sergio said, is the social media narrative? I said, no. It's not about social media narrative anymore.
It's happening.
People are leaving their marriages and homes for these things. Because if the baby mama, the single girl can get these things, for crying out loud, why do I want to be in a marriage where I'm not getting anything? Maybe there's a narrative that says if you want to cry, better to cry in a Lamborghini than to cry in a keke. Really, soft
PJ,
life.
You should cry in a private jet while sipping expensive champagne.
You see? Do you understand? So it is really, it's really, yeah. So I think one of the reasons why we brought this up is there are a lot of young chaps out there. Everybody's preparing for marriage, but you don't see them doing the right thing. So people just feel that
preparing for wedding.
Preparing for wedding, yes, not marriage. Preparing for weddings.
Married, they're not ready.
Yeah, they're not ready for marriage. Preparing for weddings, but they're not doing the right thing. Some don't even care.
They're praying for weddings.
That's what we say.
So if they're preparing weddings, you're just not doing the right thing.
But in their head, they think they're preparing for a marriage. Now, us not say not be wedding, they prefer, they not be married, they prepare for. Do you understand? And then, Sergio, it is so bad now that nobody they stress themselves. If you don't work, you don't work. Oh.
It's so bad, really.
Sergio, do you understand? So it is not the era where it's not that era where you don't want to get divorced, my darling. If it's not working, it's not working. Because whether you like it or not.
In our time, there were a lot of things. There were a lot of things that informed our patience for life. In our time, you see this pen,
Stigma.
not this pen. This, you could roll a cassette, and when it cuts, you painstakingly gum it and roll it back and play. And we used to rewind to record love lines, right? But this is a generation where if this phone is bad today, they don't fix it, they throw it away and they buy another one. And they translate that in their marriages. There's nothing to fix. If it's not working, it's not working. I didn't come here to suffer or to think with you.
Soft life.
Even if it's working at your level and there's hope for you to work at the higher level, then move to the higher level and that is it. No emotion, nothing attached.
So who do we blame for all this? Or what do we blame?
Society first.
Society.
Poor parenting. And a very negative education system.
Wow. So a lot of people are not ready for marriage. That's what it means.
Actually.
Yeah. But Sir Joe, before we go, we have less than 3 minutes. So the way the social media is pushing a particular narrative, why aren't we pushing another narrative to say this is not what it is? But guess what? You push it, but it doesn't sell.
Because it's not flamboyant.
If you try this conversation in a social media space,
nobody go listen.
By the time the less informed and the very ignorant,
they'll come at you.
Should I call them bonfools? No. The very ignorant bunch.
They will come at you.
Come at you. You will withdraw from social media for 1 year.
And they not get respect.
They not send you. You know, in a society where person they talk say, you see me, but I get money past your papa. And it's something people dance at.
Now music now.
Music
yes.
It's what they say. Yeah, this guy said.
What is the message?
Music, but it's what they say. Look at someone like
what's the message?
Akpi. We come out, they talk trash about.
Yeah, look at what Akpi did recently.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine. You see what we're saying. Now, assuming people didn't go against him, he would have gotten away with it. But people came out.
If we were living in a sane society, that guy should be arrested.
Exactly. Well, I think a note came out today. They told him, they've summoned him to Abuja, right? I'm sure he didn't know that would happen. But it's still part of what we're saying.
Yeah, because everybody feels that they can get away with
anything. You come out and you say, you slept with a 15-year-old, you gave her 2,000, you see blood on the bed. You now come back and say, hey, it was a celebrity stunt, publicity stunt rather. Who knows?
I don't know. Tell me your last thoughts.
Well, my last thought is, in as much as Sajo and you have, really put, most of the matters are treated on the table. Again, people have choices. Some people might want to do a flamboyant wedding and whatnot. If you want to do a flamboyant wedding, it doesn't end that day. There's still life after the wedding. Try as much as possible to make sure you have a substantial amount of savings in your account. Right? So you can do your wedding, but have savings. Because after a wedding, it's you and your wife. Everybody goes. It's now you and your wife. So pretty much, that's it. But one thing that is very paramount is married for a reason. And that's, from my side, is commitment. Let there be values, reasons for this wedding, not because society is doing society that you two want to do that, want to do flamboyant wedding. So
for me, it's not even about the wedding. For me, it's commitment, responsibility. If you have those two things, if you're committed and you're responsible to know your left from your right, your values are intact, and you want to do a flamboyant wedding, that's your business. If you have the money. But the core things are commitment and responsibility to the person you're taking up. Do you understand? Yeah. And in all honesty, as much as I don't want to go into certain things, if you guys are aligned, who is spending on who will not be a problem.
At all.
Who has more money will not be a problem. Because the truth is, I will be honest, there's joy in chopping my husband's money. Do you understand? And they chop up. Do you understand? I love to chop the money. But at the same time, I also know that when I do things for my husband, he's happy.
Exactly.
So really, but the man money they sweet pass to chop. No matter the money when you make. Sajo, do you agree?
Are you going to end this show without congratulating us for our victory yesterday?
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Please. Producers, off this, producers, end the show.
That's what's up.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.